This is one.
Okay,
I watched that go up.
okay.
Break board by board when you
Okay.
three. And she attends meetings and,
Yeah, we have a lot of that. And I have texted Matt on that, and I just got an answer on that today, but you haven't seen it. So I had an answer. I
how much
haven't-
it's just last year, how much you didn't do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them.
I meant to ask you
Yeah.
is, wait a minute. Okay, this is the entrance.
No, this is the entrance down here.
So the entrance,
Yeah,
okay,
you're back here.
is this a room or rented?
I don't know, I have to look.
Okay, because she's walking the dog on her neighbor property, the Doberman,
Okay.
and doesn't have a green,
No poop bag of any
no
sort.
poop bag in
Okay.
hand.
All right. B1720, dog, no.
Someone does not need their eyeglasses.
Okay, let me see what Matt says.
I saw Maritza. Did she say she was coming?
Since
I saw her just now going to the railroad. I believe, oh, she said no.
Yeah. Because I never saw something from Elizabeth, she said she'd be late, I believe.
Well, I think Eric's gonna call in.
Yeah, Eric will call in on my phone, about 7:15.
Okay.
That's fine, that'll be a quorum. I said with Eric calling in, that'll be fine, that'll be a quorum. Thank you for your patience, Courtney. Sometimes it's hard to get night numbers coordinated. Is Miriam coming?
She never confirmed.
I haven't heard from Miriam in a long time.
I heard from her after I called her that time, and she said she had confirmed that she wasn't coming. I said, well, we were just contacting folks just to see. That was the last meeting she
Um, As far as this unit being rented in less than a month, I've denied others for that same reason, so I don't think we can. So,
What you need to
The one-
at less than a year, yeah.
Huh?
We have
was discharged from the hospital. I sent the board a whole memo on that. The day of, November 27th, the day I was discharged from the hospital, I'm in my car back then reading my mail. And then these three people get out of the car and walk towards my door. And they were three young men. And I'm looking at them.
Yeah, that's her building, it's opposite it.
1744 at the very end with a Hispanic couple?
Yes,
They're Airbnb.
they've been Airbnb.
They've been there for.
No, they moved out 2 years ago.
No, I saw him walking his dog early this morning. The
The
gentleman.
people are in all phases of the dog, without a dog. They're walking the Publix, they're renting that place, they're telling us, I see it all the time.
But it's a mid-aged couple with a large dog, right? I see them every day. They're walking.
Yeah, but they don't live there, because the other people who own the place have a little ankle bite.
They
They
say,
have
hey,
large dogs.
okay, so I'm looking straight at the building, you're all the way to the end.
Look at my end, go all the way down to the end.
Because they were talking about, they were talking about, they needed explanation in Spanish. Exactly, the restoration, because they sell.
The different people in the corner there. And that's why when those people put their hand on my door. Yes, it is. When that young couple put their hands on my door, I called the plantation police, because I turned to him, I said, what are you doing? He wouldn't take over, he opened my door. And I said, you don't go, would you? He had a backpack. No one drives with a backpack. He got out, touched my door, and the two women followed. I said, stop. And then I said, oh, we are. I got some calls.
Okay, guys, I have Eric on the phone, so we now technically have a quorum.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so, let me just get the agenda up. All right, everyone, so I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Today's Monday, August 12th. We do have a quorum with Eric Richards on the phone. So we have today, Elegant Homes. Courtney, I'm sorry, what is your last name? Courtney Dixon with Elegant Homes. And so Courtney, my name is Patty Sabatez, I'm the president. Maud?
Here and I met.
Claire?
Blair Lapine is the treasurer.
And you know Sean. And then on the phone is Eric Richards, one of the officers. All right, so we have management company overview and presentation, so the floor is yours, Courtney.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Courtney Dixon. I'm the owner of Elegant Homes Property Management. I've been a part of the management company as the owner for over 30 years. My location currently is in North Lauderdale, and I do have an office in West Palm. Currently, we manage 33 communities, and we all work as a team. What do I mean? I have 6 property managers and 4 staff members in staff that handles everything from sending out violations letters to sending out all the letters regarding delinquencies. We sit and talk with their attorneys, assigned attorneys. We do basically everything. My background is in business. I do have a business degree, and I work very close with our board to resolve most of the issues with the city violations, the homeowners' delinquency, and violations on property. As far as all the vendors, we do try to meet with all the vendors, our landscapers, the sprinkler system guys, and our current, for working on the roof, all of those vendors to see what's the game plan, how to get it done. You don't have an elevator, so we don't have to worry about an elevator. We talk with the health department in regards to what we need to properly get done, so making sure the pool stays up during the holiday seasons. As far as your project goes, we still work with that. We do your budgets. We make sure that your budget is what it needs. We talk to your insurance company. Your insurance company kind of makes sure we have everything covered, both wind and fire. What we found out is that if we can do the things that we need to do to make sure our roof is good, we should be able to, what's coming into Florida, get a better insurance than what we had in the past. The governor has allowed several more communities to come in to get us a better insurance that we currently have. We also like to make sure our insurance is between October and January so that we don't have that tailspin of, well, the insurance is going up in June, we already have a budget. What do? We answer our phones, we make sure that we talk with the board as far as what we need to get done this month and what we need to get done through the course of the year. You can't get everything done in 1 year because you're on a fixed budget. Basically, not every month you got the income. We do work with homeowners that are delinquent. Reason being is that they're going through some stuff. We can say, okay, the plan depends on what the board wants us to do. And that's what we sit down with. We knock on doors if we see that you're delinquent to make sure, hey, we send you a letter, we're not here to respond to what's going on. If there's a tenant in that property, we will have the tenant send a check for the association in terms of that's the law and the statute. As far as the new law that passed in July of this year, these new laws, we sit with the board and try to work out what's the best approach to deal with these new changes. And then after that, we send all of the new changes to all of it. Once it's tweaked and everybody loves it, we send it all to the homeowners. Your websites and our websites, we kind of tie everything together. What goes into our website goes into your website too. Our software system that we use is called Numerate. It's the TOPS, advanced TOPS, where everybody can get to go into their portal at their home ledger, 2 3 o'clock, and make their payments and see what their ledger is. Behind your ledger, you will see several things, the documents for the association. Those documents under the law must be on my website and your website, whichever one is needed. We try to make sure there's a violation committee that is in place. Because if we do set a fine, there must be a hearing in 14 days to make sure it either safe or not safe. In a nutshell, that's pretty much what we do. Is there anything else? Any questions?
I heard you said if people want to make payments, are you
Yes.
also applying for the accounting section of our contract or just the maintenance?
Well, we're hoping that we can, depending on the budget, we take over your accounting also. My software system allows us to do everything easily. It's in there, you'll see it pops up. We send out your financial by the 20th of every month. On the 20th day of the month, your financial should be in the system. The board gets a copy, and you guys see where to spend, what you didn't spend, and what was coming, what came in, who's delinquent, all those.
How many employees did you say you had?
We have probably 11, but in office we have 4, which is the administrative folks.
Okay, so you have 7 then that are on
Yes,
site.
including myself. So,
Okay.
Courtney, did you prepare a packet of information regarding your proposal and things like that?
I emailed a copy, I
Yeah, I
guess,
sent one of this,
yes, and the insurance proposal. You have got a copy.
oh,
What insurance?
My insurance.
I got some insurance, I guess, for something.
Yes.
That's the only thing I did.
Yeah, his certificate of liability is
You didn't get a copy of that?
I can see
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Oh, you have it?
I have a copy.
I have it.
Okay.
And what is your understanding what the needs of the community is?
Your community. What I understand is that you currently have a major project going on right now. It's going to need some attention on that. And it's working with the engineer to make sure they sign off on most of it. That's what I understood, that there's actually work going on, especially special assessment work going on.
Have you had an opportunity to walk the property?
I didn't drive through once, and then I said, wait until, we get to the board and see what's going on. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned you have 33
your proposal says that you, for no additional charge, attend board meetings. We are currently having about 3 board meetings a month, 1 regular board meeting and 2 every other week with the contractors.
Contractor?
Yeah, now, and would that be included?
Well, I asked her what, 3 to 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, every week, so that should be, and unless we need more hours a week.
Okay, Mr. Dixon, if you could respond to that, I'd
Sure.
appreciate it.
In regards to, we have normally attend one meeting per month. If you're saying during the course of this project, you're going to need to have 2 extra meetings, which is, what is your regular meeting day? Do we have a day for that?
We try to have it on the 3rd Tuesday of the month, because we have one more meeting who is a flight attendant. It's easy for them to have more structured meetings, but it's obviously, it's a concern because we're having construction meetings and things like that, and not everybody's able to attend.
Yeah, so the construction meetings have been Wednesday or Thursday, sometimes Tuesday. It just depends on when we can get the majority of the board members in attendance.
All right, so the 3rd Tuesday every month would be no issues as far as your regular meeting goes. Those are the regular meetings. You're saying your construction meeting hours on the Wednesday after that Tuesday?
They're on Thursdays,
I'm sorry, Thursday.
every other Thursday.
Every other
So
Thursday.
these like 3 weeks of the month, plus some ad hoc ones that they have from time to time.
Yeah, okay, let's looking at the month of August. It would be every other Thursday, would be the 8th? Or no, the 15th? I do have a meeting that is the first Thursday through Sunday. Every other Thursday would be the 8th.
Well,
When you're looking at the calendar, it's the 8th and
Well,
We just had
we
this
just
last
had one.
Thursday.
We just
Yeah.
had one. That was the
the
8th.
8th.
That was the
Okay,
8th.
gotcha.
That was the 8th.
So the next one is on the 22nd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's every other Thursday. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, because we have to, it's hard to coordinate everything.
but I guess, the property manager would be the one that would be attending, right?
Right,
Okay.
2 extra Thursday.
Now, your proposal lists only a base management fee. What about the maintenance grounds person?
That I did not list because we didn't know we needed to bring in, unless you currently do have, we'll take that person on.
Right.
and take-
So currently, I'll give you a little bit of history. So prior to the restoration project, we had a skilled,
Maintenance.
pretty skilled. I mean, Rob unfortunately passed away, so he was replaced with a gentleman that unfortunately I don't think anybody was happy with. But until this day, I only have somebody that's mostly dealing as a grounds person. I think with all the construction that's going on, I think groundskeeping, the cleaning of the clubhouse, the restrooms, maintaining the pool deck area, reporting any, changing of light bulbs and things like that, because there's so much movement construction that I don't see this person right now doing much unless it has to do with sidewalks, light posts that are malfunctioning, again, maintenance of the clubhouse,
Right.
maintenance of the bathrooms. So we might consider shifting. It really depends on the level of the maintenance person. So when the association finally completes the project, then it's beneficial to have a skilled person
Okay.
that knows basic carpentry and things like that, so that they're able to, fix a wood plank or, things like that. So what is your fee structure as far as your markup for a maintenance person?
Let's say if we have a maintenance person on board, we normally go 30%, which is including the tax on that.
Like health insurance and all that, or something, or?
No, it would have been the taxes and the taxes that are there for him to cover. If you currently look at your scale now, you'll see that you do pay up to 30% or 32% for your taxes for that person.
But what about, their salary and all this?
Your salary is what you
Because it's gonna be a 40-hour employee and they.
Right, so what are you currently paying? Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it $17 an hour?
I'm not sure.
$18 an hour? What are you paying the
I don't
person?
have let me see if I have a copy of the bill rate.
If you're saying it's $17 an hour, and you just get it, then yeah, it's $17 an hour for times 40 hours and 30%.
I guess where Sean's getting at is if you have a full-time employee, obviously to attract, someone that will
Skills.
stay,
Yeah.
you wanna be competitive with rate
Correct.
benefits. So do you offer your staff, that are on your properties benefits? Because, so that 30% markup is not only payroll taxes, but it's payroll taxes and
And
benefits.
and insurance for that person.
Okay.
Right, so that's what we're saying. My conversation is if you don't have a person, then I'm understanding, if you've already budgeted for this, because it's not like this is a new budget, I see where's, if you have a person, you do know the dollar figure, you do know how many
No,
hours.
it's gonna be a range because what we originally had to what we were, what we originally had is a skilled labor.
Okay.
Right?
We
It would
don't,
depend on the skill set the board wants. Like I said, I mean, does it make sense to bring someone highly skilled? Because everything's being torn apart.
Okay.
What we need to focus on is maintenance of the common areas, the cleaning of the clubhouse, the cleaning of the restrooms, the cleaning of the pool deck, perhaps maybe touch up, like for example, we have an issue there, someone that can do, later on, bring someone that can do basic repair, like for example,
Gotcha.
we look at drywall, painting, someone that can work with a drill, power wash, and
Understood.
things like that, so
And
that's.
also pick up the debris that's laying around in the phases from the construction, wood, rocks, everything.
Right, so on a couple of my association, my maintenance fee, the lowest one I do have is $18.50 per hour. And they work from 8:30 to 4:30, which is making sure everything is done.
And what is the skill set of that person?
That skill set, it's minimal. He basically makes sure the lights change, he cleaned all the floor, they handle all of the blowing, making sure the place is blow properly. Don't touch it. Electrical, if however it's a light bulb, take off the lollipop and put the light bulbs on. If I know it's going to be heavy electrical, I'm calling an electrician. But I let them handle a couple of things that they're fine to do. My other techs are very good. They're handyman special. They don't go in and do a small drywall. If the association of water leaks, they'll go in, cut it out, put it back.
So do you have, for example, if we have the AC closet there, so
Right.
that requires monthly maintenance, flushing
The
not
pipe.
flushing, but cleaning the pipe, changing the
Yeah.
filter and so forth.
That's part of it.
That's basic, but you have to have someone that's disciplined, someone that, obviously, no one's going to oversee this person daily.
Right.
So it can't be, I mean, 1850 is reasonable, I mean, anything less than that, I'll give you an example, housekeepers make $16, $17 an hour, and that's an unskilled position. So I wouldn't expect the association to pay anything less than 1850 in order to keep them, because the market's very competitive right now.
Gotcha.
So, and it needs to be someone, obviously, it's trustworthy, that has history, not anybody, whoever that person would be, that would need to interview with the board. The board will need to agree on the person, and so forth like that.
yeah, we do not have a separate line in our budget for a maintenance person. It's rolled into our management fee.
I need to see that. I haven't seen.
Well, it would just be adding what you're charging per year plus the
Plus the
cost.
maintenance. Gotcha.
Yeah, per annum, you get per annum.
Gotcha, yeah. All right. Okay, back in there. Are you currently, you said you have one person, but they're not.
Well, he substituted the gentleman, we're in transition with this management company, obviously,
Okay.
because we're interviewing. So the other person, we had concerns about, and finally they switched him out, but I don't know this gentleman well enough. I met him twice, but I think what the management company is doing is just having someone here that can do basic groundkeeping and things like that, because they're on their way out, so I don't think they're gonna invest in someone and secure a good, a skilled person here when,
And as you said, we don't need a skilled person now,
I understand.
so there's no reason for that.
I got a question.
Okay.
So you're saying included in this annual fee, you've got website maintenance, what about the letters and stuff that go out to the community and stuff?
On the letters to go out, our letters are once we decide how we're gonna structure the contract, we set a contract, it breaks down the envelopes, the stamps, all those stuff on it. But whatever is in here is, the letters are not in here, it's not.
Right.
Not an initiative.
No, it says,
so I guess that's where I'm getting to. The
Oh.
proposal I'm expecting to see is a proposal of all fees.
yeah.
So that
Oh.
we can compare all the,
That I can send to you. We can, Mark, now I've got the skeleton to put together a
Right.
contract so you can see it and say, okay, top to bottom, this is what we want, this is what we want.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Now, your proposal, and it, says things about, handling administrative duties in your office. Of course,
Yes.
we don't have an office. It doesn't say how many hours a week a property manager will be servicing our property.
Okay.
So we just need to have clarification because we're trying to, compare.
And another
Gotcha. I
question,
can, go ahead.
is project manager for our construction included in this too?
A project manager for your construction,
Because you said, here,
we would meet with the property manager would meet with, we didn't put a project manager.
working with engineers to get 40 to 50 years.
Working with your engineers to get your 40 or 50-year
Okay.
structural and electrical work done. So that's why I was saying to you, was there an engineer already in place?
Yes,
So
we have an engineer.
Okay, so
Yes.
it's easy, once the engineer is already in place, it's easy to work with it because you're like, where are we now with the project? And you'll be able to tell me this is what is the time we're expecting to finish this portion of the project. And so it's easy to get to the board and a report of where we are as far as with the engineer.
So with your, working with you hosting the website, are you sending communications through like push
For example,
notifications and emails and stuff like that?
Yes, so we are sending information both sides. We're looking at your website. Once we get your website admin, whatever we load on the system for our portals for every homeowners, we also load it on your system.
But it's a push notification to the unit owners, or?
Yeah, it's actually, unless the unit owners are not on your website seeing everything.
Are you emailing them?
Email. Every single homeowner's
So there's less mailings that will be going out because.
The only time we'll do mails, for example, your mails are your budget, your annual meeting. Let's say we know there's something that needs to be addressed. The president says, hey, phase 2 is about to get started, phase 3 is about to get started. Marky, we can send out a blast on both sides. And if we say, you know what, get this out. Or let's put a newsletter together. A newsletter, folks will read the newsletter faster than they'll read your own email. So if we're saying this every quarter, we send out a newsletter, giving them an update. The project is this way, the project has reached this particular point. Here's the good news, so-and-so sold, and they sold their property for that. The budget was in range, our insurance is getting adjusted. Whatever the start is on the newsletter, because folks will open the layout and read a newsletter as far as what you're
So I guess what we want to know is, what is the cost of doing the newsletter? What is the cost of maintaining the website?
I got
What is the cost
I
of
think
doing?
that will come with the detail.
It will come with a detail of everything you be able to do.
Yeah,
And also do the accounting services in there too.
Yes.
So you can see the difference in prices and stuff like that.
yeah. And also, what time period in your contract we need if we decide to terminate
Yes. So,
30 days, 60 days,
so
whatever.
we can do, depending on how the board, for some communities, they prefer, especially big ones like this, they prefer 60 days because of the fact that it takes them a period of time to be able to
Of course.
put the adjustments on
Right.
everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
And then some, which is a smaller community, the 30 days is easy because it's easy to wrap up and get things done.
I think 60 days is minimal for us.
So what I'm gonna do, as you requested, is to put the skeleton together so we can then say, strike this, add this, keep this, whatever, have the board and the attorney look at it.
How often would you
How
meet
are
with the
your-
structural engineer, with the engineer?
I'm expecting that, the 2 meetings that we have, we'll talk to them over the phone, because it's more like a call. Guys, the last part of the project was done, have we signed off on it, have we sent that to the city? And they'll say, yes, we have looked at it, can we get a copy of the report to send to the board? And they'll get us a copy of the report to send to the board.
So therefore, you wouldn't have to necessarily meet with them, telephone call would suffice?
A telephone call, because the engineer has to make sure he writes what he wants the city to see, because this is very important. And the city's depending on the engineer, just like us, to finalize whatever project is getting done.
Mhm.
So that's why I was like, where is the engineer? He's the one that's really overseeing all of the changes that we're doing. If it's a change order, we definitely want to see that. If it's a contractor change, we gotta definitely go back into the city and change the contractor change form with the city.
Do you have a relationship with the city of Plantation, or are you aware of that?
I do have a relationship with the building department in Plantation, and most of the cities going all the way up to West Palm. And all they want to know is that we're communicating with them, and if you're not, you're gonna hear.
So, how are your records how are the association records maintained?
How's it maintained? For example, on my software, everything is in the system. Every checks that comes in, it's loaded in the system. Everything that is there. As far as keeping your records, we box them up every month and have them in our office, all over in here, wherever your storage is. At each time it's finished, we get it boxed in. But we do have our paper in the system. We have electronic paper in the system. So everything that I do is in the system.
So it's all very digital.
It's digital and very available.
In hard copy.
Yeah,
Okay.
And you mentioned your company does accounting services. Who exactly do you have on staff that does accounting services?
we do have accounts receivable, accounts payable, and we do have a CPA that we make sure to come take a look at everything. For example, if we should take over for your community, the first person that comes in is to make sure we align all your accounts with what we got from whoever the managing companies to line up with what we have. So it flows. That means you're taking over the accountant, the end of year audit's gonna need to see the tiling from January to
No,
now.
I guess my question
I'm
is,
sorry.
you only have an APAR. What accounting professionals overseeing you folks?
A CPA comes into my office.
Do
And
you get charged for that?
the CPA doesn't charge me, not charge you for the work they've done.
And who's that CPA?
CPA is Mr. Sims.
Mr. Sams?
Sims accounting system.
Sams accounting system. He comes in once a week.
No, doesn't need to be in my office once a week. He'll come in on a monthly basis, if not, he'll come in quarterly to make sure the accounts are aligned.
So who prepares the financial statements?
My financials are prepared by Sonia. She's in the office in every single step of the way. My software system is one of those that we reconcile every Friday to say what was spent to what was cleared, and then we go into the system and clear all your ACH to make, our system is set up that way.
What accounting system is that? What accounting system do you use?
Enumerate.
Enumerate?
That's the system I own.
Okay. What does the transition look like for your company, the process?
The transition starts where we upload everything from Broward County, matching addresses from the county records to there. And from then, we do request documents from their previous manager. your balance sheet, trial balance, ledgers from all the unit owners. And so once they provide that to us, we upload that in our system. Then we send out a welcome letter to all the unit owners.
Yeah. There's been discussions before about segregation of duties. I don't know, I think the majority of the board is not here, but I don't think the majority of the board wants the management company to also handle the funds. It's segregation of duties, so we would only, again, I'm not, we're missing 3, but I know this came up before, and so, the other thing I have is I had a chance to look at some of your reviews.
Okay.
And one of the things that we have challenges here with the current management company is lack of response and getting back to unit owners. I saw quite a few of those reviews, and that concerns me. You have 35 properties, with only 4 people in the office. How many units do you oversee in those 33, how many unit owners? We have 33 communities with how many doors?
How many doors? I think we probably reached at least 15,000 doors.
Okay, you have 15,000 doors with only 4 people in the office, really 2, because if your account and your accounts
4.
payable.
Now,
So you only have 2 people responding to 15,000?
we have
doors?
4 people in the office, exclude myself.
Exclude yourself.
Yeah.
But one of them is the APAR.
Right.
Okay, so you really have 3.
Yeah.
So you have 3 people responding to emails and requests for
Documentation, all my documentations are requested online, it's automatic.
I'm talking about phone calls and things like that. So
Okay.
you have 3 people responding to 15,000 unit owners. That seems a little bit excessive.
Here's how it works, and back to the questions of, I want to go back to the review. On reviews, what we will do is violations, and anybody who's upset about your violations, so when a tenant is calling me, there was a particular property that a tenant is calling me to fix something that his owner is supposed to fix. And that tenant was informed clearly by the property manager that we don't fix that leak, it is your owner's responsibility. And she kept calling because her owner lives out in the country. And so when she's upset and pissed, excuse my manners, she then write a review in regards to how she feels that we don't respond to her. We're not going to respond for it. We're not going to ever do anything for a landlord whose responsibility is to take care of his tenant's needs. It is not our need. My
I
job is to.
understand, so we're not talking about one, we're talking about several. I know you've seen them recently, but.
And I can go through them all, because as I said, when you write a violation letter and somebody doesn't like it, I can't stop you from
Right.
writing it anyway.
One of the other reviews talked about one of your communities, one of the property reviews that you manage, talked about the roach infestation.
Roach infestation was not our responsibility. There is a tenant that had a whole bunch of stuff in their unit. And when the tenant making a request that a landlord to go, you need to do your unit, I do the common area. We're not going to bring a chemical inside of your unit that is going to cost the association if or whether you and your baby gets damaged. So, you can write anything you want. I'm not coming in, I'm not sending in the pest control person inside of your unit when that particular association only do common area for pest control.
Let me ask you, there was a review about a church that you guys used to manage. Did you read that review?
I read that review. Here's what happened. We gave up the church because I can show it to you. We had to evict an old lady that was in a wheelchair. I had to do that one. And I walked away.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you were saying.
I'm sorry. I get emotional when I say it because I have to put her up.
Put it up.
I'm sorry, the tenants on the property that we manage, church had several property offices from, and there was an old lady that I inherited after the fact, that in a wheelchair, and I had to call the sheriff to allow. no, it had nothing to do with eviction. I walked away. I said, it had nothing to do with this. We gave them everything over. And they wanted me to turn over the documents a different way. I would say, no, these are their documents. Cynthia, well, not Cynthia, whatever her name was, wrote my office and write very, very bad things about, oh, we didn't do anything. We turned everything over. When we pack up a box to give you, don't ask us to explain whatever. Everything is in the box was turned over there. She said we were unprofessional. They wanted me to throw out somebody that was not.
I'm sorry, they wanted you to throw out.
I'm sorry. They wanted me to throw out an old lady who is in a wheelchair. And my office will tell you, don't ask me to do that.
Okay, throw out an old lady in a
If it's an old
wheelchair.
lady in a wheelchair, take the sheriff's office, I take the door off. We did all that. Okay, and I walked away. I said I can't do anything else.
Okay, was the woman was living in church property? Was that the
The
issue?
church has several rental property.
Okay,
I'm sorry if I didn't say it right.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Church has several rental property. We do everything. Everything that has to do with the units. The citations from the city, when the tenants call on Sistrum, electrical, you send an electrical guy there, we tell the church board, they don't want to fix it. We walked into the meeting and go, wait a minute. I'm telling you, you were told from day one that half the lights are on in the units and one side of the building has lights, the other side don't. And so when you come to me and say, I don't have no problem sending an electrician there for nothing. The old lady stopped paying because she took sick and her daughter died, and so she now has to pay the Social Security. And rent's going up down in Sistrum, so she can't afford it. And I begged her kids, our grandkids, to come grab her. Come get your grandma. This is crazy. And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I did it. But I was like, I gotta walk away from this one. This is crazy.
Okay, so let me see if I understand. You had a tenant in a church-owned property.
Miss Gibson. Yeah.
Okay,
Detail.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
Okay,
just bringing
right.
up reviews.
Okay.
And they're gonna say, because you can't talk to church folks, church folks the way you talk to the board. It's just totally different.
Okay.
And so, and you have to do the terrible things, especially when you manage church units. This is not the church, this is regular people down the block there.
Right.
You're sitting there going, wait a minute, all she needs is this, that. We got, the city came up, because they don't call the city, you're down 6th Street. Well, a lot of those cities down the road from here. And so they'll come out, the city will call me and say, hey, Court, so-and-so. I say, look, church, we gotta spend this money to fix this. And it's not, you don't wanna spend, so we're gonna have a problem with the city. And as much as you beg the city, say, Courtney, this is by Tuesday, we'll find. And Tuesday, the church doesn't talk to you Saturday, so doesn't talk to you Friday, Saturday. So you're sitting there going, what's that? But like I said, we turn over all the documents, everything. And when you're turning over documents on a regular basis with an HOA, they understand you're turning over documents. Doesn't understand that. And so when she may get up, she write up what she wants to write. I didn't respond. My office didn't respond and said, you're being unfair. We turn over every box and everything to you. Every blessed thing.
Understood.
Okay,
But as I said, for me personally, I cannot put an old lady out.
No, I understand.
all right, I understand, all right.
I wouldn't either.
Well, because I was raised.
Either what?
Okay.
All right, okay, so I guess, just to recap on what we need in a proposal, just so that we're, comparing apples to apples. A list of all your possible fees.
Yes.
Or things like that, additional meetings or whatever. You could estimate a maintenance person. I believe the prior maintenance person was earning $20 or $21 an hour. That's a skilled person. So I think you can estimate somebody at $18.50 an hour plus the markup, just, you know. The number of weeks that the property manager, and would that property manager be you, or you would assign someone?
It's either me or I will sign someone. That's
Okay.
correct. The 40 hours for the maintenance person, is that what we're doing? 40 hours?
Yeah.
Correct.
40 hours.
Yeah, and at this point, and I don't think any of the other board members would disagree, because highly skilled person,
I know.
because there's not much. I mean, someone that can pressure wash, someone that
Yeah.
can
Use the web blowing machine, pressure cleaning machine.
pressure clean, you know, clean the clubhouse, clean
The
the pool.
filter, the whole like, clean the pool.
Yeah.
with-
No,
No, pool
No.
deck.
Oh.
The pool deck, you know, there's a shower outside, make sure the
Yeah.
bathrooms are properly stocked and clean.
Gotcha.
Roam the property, we do have a golf cart, so the golf cart is back in service, so that person will be able to be more mobile.
Question for you, the
Yeah.
scope of work, do you have a list or we create a list? Because we
Well, we would like to create one, I
Okay.
mean, I can certainly create it, with the input of the board, but it's, right now, it's gonna be very different than when this property is done. Because once this property is done,
It's a
then
different
you
look.
have to have a very structured maintenance.
we've said that already, so yeah.
Yeah, a very structured maintenance checklist,
Gotcha.
right? To upkeep what was.
Who's responsible for everybody's responsible for their courtyards, and we're just talking common areas.
So if you read the docs, we have what we call common areas and limited common areas.
Okay.
Limited common areas are your walkway, your little entrance, that's a limited common
Okay,
area.
gotcha, gotcha.
Common areas is basically anything in the front and open in the community, all the public grounds.
So you're saying the person needs to clean the limited common area, which is just the entrance?
The limited common area is what is unique to the owner, so it would be their entryway.
Right.
Unit owners are
We're
responsible.
blowing that.
Well,
No.
the grass cutters, when they cut, they blow, that's another issue. I won't get into that, the landscaping people don't understand proper blowing,
Yeah.
right? So they're blowing on people's,
Windows.
Okay, that's a whole other issue.
yeah,
but-
no other
Okay,
issue.
all right, so, yeah, no, the limited common area inside the fence line,
Right.
the maintenance person would not
Yeah.
need to
Oh.
worry about. It's only the common area that he or she would need to be responsible for cleaning.
And
Understood.
with the fence is up, it's more clearly defined. Anything in front of the fence is common area, anything behind the fence is limited.
Yeah.
I guess that's the, I mean, without, every unit is different. you
But
know,
that's
but
the
it's-
easiest way to
It's kind of like,
say it.
it's the easiest way to envision.
It is the
Gotcha.
easiest.
Anything behind, in the front, behind is the owner's limited space, limited common area, and anything in front of that face is association property.
Understand.
So the other thing this maintenance person can do, we have a lot of, basic groundskeeping to include maybe possibly a removal of a dead bush or things like that. So labor type
Yes,
work,
that's fine.
so that you don't have to engage the landscaping company to do
Because the
something.
landscaper comes twice a month, depending on the month.
Twice, yeah, or 3 times during the rainy season.
Depending on the month.
Yeah, but we would also possibly with the new management company do a vendor review to look at all our current vendors and to possibly see where we can make some changes. Obviously giving the vendor an opportunity, perhaps a meeting with the board to discuss what we're not happy with and then move on from there.
Okay.
So vendor review would be something. The number of hours a week, didn't we talk about 15 hours? 10 hours a day, is that what we?
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
much
the
been
real
done.
number. And then others said maybe 20, so I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, some of these management companies are all over the place. So we're trying to create some structure in the proposal, give a
Gotcha.
scope so that everybody's proposing on the same playing field.
Okay.
And
Yes.
if there are any mailings that might need to be done, proxies that are not the annual meeting or the budget, but
Okay,
just,
so we have amendments change up for you to do a proxy, it would be a special assessment, something around.
Right.
Special.
it might be a vote for something.
Yeah.
Okay, we recently did proxies for voting on the color of the paint.
Gotcha.
Okay, so cost for mailing, if you would.
Well, that's part of
Oh, yes,
it.
the list that you
Yes,
requested, we're gonna send you everything.
Right.
Cost of copies, mailing, posting,
Everything.
everything possible that you would possibly charge back to an
That's right.
association. Like, for example, one association was gonna charge us Zoom access if we wanted to have a Zoom meeting with time with the property managers. So everybody does something different.
Right.
No, I
So,
don't.
Right.
I guess the best thing to do is look at your fee structure and include every possible fees to see all the services, to see what we would engage and what we would not engage.
Right.
No, there
Yeah.
wouldn't be a.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, that's
That's what
like
we're
an
asking.
example of somebody that
Right.
entered into their proposal, their subscription to Zoom, they pass that cost along all the associations.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
You
everybody-
got several examples of different communities, you
Yeah.
just kind of look at the fee structure.
Yeah.
yeah, but, no,
Yeah.
that's, I do every year, so.
And if there's a storage fee for the boxes, for our documents, that sort of
Yes,
thing.
those, I think those aren't, but most time, but once the association has like a clubhouse, we don't want to store your stuff.
No, we don't want to store.
No.
These
No,
stores
no,
are
no,
not the
no.
strongest,
Right.
Right.
so no property records. But this clubhouse was in a fire, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't store anything on property.
Yeah.
In fact, the ideal situation is to digitize everything.
That's very much what we.
And that may, one resident says, why don't we hire a couple, in the summer, some students and, maybe rent a scanner, like
Yeah, but it's every 7 years, so we want to save.
well, no,
27.
not with the new laws. The new laws, they're saying you have to have since inception, so there's
Well,
so many different interpretations.
No, the docs itself.
No, I'm saying new July 1st.
Right.
There's language that speaks to, and it's the oddest thing, and I brought this up because I sat through the legal update. It says that the new law says you must, the standard is 7 years. But you look at the language of the new law, it says since inception, so there may be receipts and things you have to recreate. It's the oddest thing. But anyways,
My understanding that was to make sure you have
Yeah.
the original
there's,
docs and.
no, that part, that goes without saying, but in fact, it reminds me, they sent me from legal the information for our separate workshop. It's mind-boggling because, and then you ask somebody, like I have access to attorneys, and I say, okay, well, what do you interpret this to be? And two different attorneys will say two different things.
Yeah.
And they're all common law attorneys, so they're like, and I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, because the law is new and hasn't been challenged and nobody has
precedent,
answers.
Everyone has a different interpretation.
Right.
Yeah, so that's, anyways, but there are some there's a whole list of record keeping, so in that, it does speak to the original docs, which we do, we have that digitized, that's on our website. But it's just confusing. Anyways, we would expect our management company, which is not happening right now, by the way, to sit with the board and tackle this, right? We do have, I think, till January to make sure we have all our records uploaded that's required. And there is a list of records that was given.
And they're not uploaded on your website?
A lot of them.
That's already uploaded. But there's a lot of things that are not, that are now being uploaded because we're trying to, we have basically 4 months to upload. So a lot of, you may want to look into that with the other communities because you do have
We
until
upload
January.
everything. When everything upload, once we took over, for example, we took over a large community, and the first thing we started doing is to upload
Yeah.
the bylaws, the rules, the
Yeah.
regulations, the minutes, the whole 9 yards. As the minutes finish, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, we have the minutes, the financials, we have progress reports, Eric is now uploading, requesting all the contracts digitally so he can upload
Yeah.
them. Now we're gonna have to upload, the new thing is any proposals that the board's gonna vote on needs to be attached to the agenda, so that's another upload, so a lot of that.
Right, the
But
minutes-
all this stuff, all
Right,
this
so the
stuff,
minutes and
will have
everything
to,
goes up.
whoever it's narrowed down to,
Mhm.
all this will have to be uploaded with the agenda before
Right.
voting. So there's a lot of stuff that even the attorneys are scratching their heads, because there's no precedence, there's no trial on some of this stuff. So depending on who you ask, they interpret it differently, which is frustrating.
It is, it's the same thing we were talking about, listen, we upload bank statements and financials, we're like, oh my Lord, the bank statement has the account number on it, but we're like, we can retract it or we just leave it at like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be trying that, you should upload it.
At least then leave the last 4 digits, not the full number.
Well, the bank started doing that. The bank starts to pull the account
Yeah.
numbers off it, so it
Yeah.
makes it easy for
Because,
us.
yeah, there is a, same thing with credit cards, you only can legally post the last 4 digits.
And that's for digits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got a question. Do you manage the property at Village of Coral Lake in North Rochdale?
No, we manage,
It would be South Coral Circle address.
no, we don't manage that.
Okay.
and in your proposal, you didn't include any references or
Yes,
anything?
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes, to respond to your viewing from the reviews, the board would tell you, we're straight shooters, we don't. And as I said to most board, we are going to send out delinquency letters, and somebody's gonna be nasty on a review. We don't. We're gonna send out a violation letter.
The management company doesn't send out notifications. Remember, we have our
Oh,
segregation.
gotcha, that's way, what my point is.
They get mad at the accounting firm, not the bank.
We do get those because we do manage their accounts for
Yeah.
folks. And we do send out violation letters and folks will get upset.
Violation letters, yes.
There's a property that we just foreclosed on. You read the text, you can read the text of the person that we foreclosed on. So when I send it to the board according, we will just wait until she posts it. I'm telling you, she said, watch, I'm gonna post this. And we had to foreclose, she had to pay me 5 months, 5 years.
Oh, God.
Oh, my word.
5 years.
I begged her,
5 years.
come to the office, tell me what you did with the last 2 years HOA fee.
Mm.
I'll talk to the attorney.
Mm.
She said she had to use it with her attorney. I said, nobody can help you at this point in time.
Yeah.
Let's see, okay, does anybody else, ma'am, do you want to ask any particular questions to? No, you're okay?
I'm just listening.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
How long do you think it would take you to get that information to us?
I'm going to jump on it tomorrow and
Okay.
should be able to get it back, if not tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday morning. But that's the latest, but tomorrow once. I understand the scope of what we're expecting to get done, we pull things off that we need to get it to where at least the skeleton is there, so if we need to add, subtract, whatever we need to put in language, we can get it.
If you want to email that, maybe to Sean, and
Yes.
Sean can
Yeah.
communicate it to the rest of us.
That's a show.
Yeah, he can forward it to all of the rest of the board.
Yes.
And one last question I have, what does that transition on site look like for you? What's the process look like?
On transition, Mark, it's an easy transition for us. Mark, we're not, as you said, we're not taking the accounting, so it's making sure we get a team that is on here to clean up the property the way we need it.
So what I mean, is there an initial walkthrough, are you doing inventory of the association property? What does that look like on site when you transition?
We basically get the scope of work that we need, and then we'll see what's the association owns, what equipment and stuff like that you own. So if you have the blowers, the various things that you need to keep the property on. Take notes of it, and then I'm hoping that there is records already for these things. And then we start the process of making sure the individual understands the scope of work to keep this place clean and the way we need it.
Anything else from anybody?
No, Eric just texted that he did not have any questions.
All right, great. All right, Courtney, we appreciate your time. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Well, we get, okay. I second?
In favor?
Yeah.
Consent.
Yes. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you so much, John, thanks. I'll get the contract itself, so we can get it set.
Thanks, Eric. Talk to you later.
The more you can send this to review, they'll all cover everything.
Everything,
Yeah.
everything.
Bye. but I'll try to get around the next time I'm out running around. You know, I'll be out running around Thursday, so I'll see about getting it done then, okay?
Do you want me to, make the key? I can make it for you.
I'm gonna be
Just to
gone.
give us an idea of how
I'll be
Okay, I
out.
can make it tomorrow.
I need to make sure, that's all I'm saying, I need to make sure that the budget itself, I want it to go.
How was the drive for you?
Oh.
No worries.